I koko iki e ho e a mai I ka wa'akaula na upo uli mai Ua o ili mai la pai e ai kalani Ka kalani ka he kili Kumakani hai kalani O ke kapu ihi ka wahine Pahe e ka I ewe I ke kapawahi Lave aku ia na e ole ala e ala e am. And this chant, it talks about the canoe coming across the sea and landing on our shore. And it's like the Christ consciousness coming towards us and landing upon our presence that we can fill with this canoe called the Christ light. And so it is. Okay. Let's sit there.
With balance with those around me. The positive energy that I send out into the world expands and multiplies. It can never be destroyed. I practice aloha every day, especially in difficult situations. I care deeply about the environment and I respect all fellow human beings. Everything in the universe is part of me. Therefore, I am part of all being. There is no past. There is no future. There is only this present moment. By living the way of aloha, I live a life of great love, compassion, happiness, health, and prosperity. Mahalo ke akua. And so it is. Amene. Well, welcome, Unity of Kona, Kakaiaka, e komo mai. Good morning and welcome. And here we are today in beautiful Kailua, Kona, Hawaii. What an honor it is to be here and joining us online. We welcome you also. So as we get started with our service, I'd like to please ask you to stand at this moment and we'll do our vision, mission, and affirmation for the month. And here at Unity of Kona, we have a vision together, a world family of oneness, peace, and love, with a mission to inspire spiritual growth and service through the active practice of love, faith, joy, and honoring everyone as a child of God. And our mission, vision, mission, affirmation, that's the one, is understanding. So together, my understanding of truth deepens and directs my life. And so it is. And while I got everybody standing, we normally do our opening song, since what Kealoha has got this song, and we're going to share with it. And so, O Hawaii ne. So sing along with us, guys.
Oh, beautiful Hawaii ne, a paradise on earth, a melting pot of every race. We live Hawaii, Hawaii, ohana are we from sunrise east to sunset west. Aloha for us all. Oh, beautiful Hawaii, for rainbows in the sky and valleys full of waterfalls, with forests lush and rare. Hawaii, Hawaii, ohana are we from sunrise east to sunset west. Aloha for us all. Oh, beautiful Hawaii, for snow-capped Mauna Kea, Pacific Ocean fishery, and Pele's lava flows. Hawaii, Hawaii, ohana are we from sunrise east to sunset west. Aloha for us all.
Thank you, Kealoha. Wow, that was wonderful. While we're all standing, reach over and say hi to everybody. We'll take a couple moments here as we get to greet in the sanctuary. And if you're joining us online, please leave a comment now in the comment section so we can formally greet all our guests and visitors. So let's take a moment and just be happy and socialize as we gather here in the sanctuary. Good morning, Vince. Good.
Cass.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
Well, how are you doing?
Okay. You had a little allergies.
I've got eczema,
Oh,
so it's I've got
poison ivy or something like
no,
that?
no. It's just immunodeficiency. It's a continuing problem. I'm about to get on meds for it. But,
Okay, well,
yeah.
we want to bless that.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you? Good to see you. Yes. Hello, how are you doing? I'm doing well, thanks. Good to see you.
As we connect with our hearts, we hold the love that we share in the sanctuary with us wherever we go. And this love that we share is the aloha. So let it swell, let it delight up inside yourselves and just burst with the delight of life and share it with your loved ones, as we always love to do here. This part of the section of the service is kind of my favorite part, where we all get to say hi. And so greeting everybody online. And so welcome, my friends. Aloha with a great, welcome with a great big aloha. Aloha. So as we get started with the service, I have just a few announcements to make. But first and foremost, we are a prayer ministry. So we have the You Pray app. And you can download the You Pray app, get it on your iPhone, Android, and with that app, you get instant reflections and meditations and responses, if you care to, from Unity Village in Lee Summit, Missouri, where it's a prayer vigil. They pray over your prayers for 30 consecutive days. We also have the prayer request box in the back of the sanctuary. Please feel free to fill out a prayer request. Our prayer chaplains will pray over them here and send them on to Silent Unity, again, for 30 days. Well, the power of prayer. When two or more are gathered and when the community prays together, the power of prayer is incredible. And with this in mind, we want to hold thoughts and prayers for one of our volunteers, Laurel Adler. She's a member, volunteer, and she had to fly to California with a family issue. And so as we hold thoughts and prayers for her niece, I wrote down the name here too. Cora. And so Cora is amazing, 12-year-old child who's now in need of really strong prayers. So as a community, let's hold Cora in our mind's eye for the best of whatever God's got in plan for this child's life as the family now going through these issues. The family needs prayer also. So hold the family and little Cora in your thoughts and prayers. And I do have a few more announcements, as this is the section of the service where we do this. Congratulations, Sean Godwin, for the member of the month. Sean's been an amazing member here. She's gotten right into it as a new member here at the church, and she provides all kinds of service and food, and all her love and her gifts and offerings are truly inspiring. So we welcome her here with an open heart. And Sean, thank you. She's not here today, but boy, I know she's around here somewhere. She's also hosting a meditation self-healing balance twice a month starting this Tuesday, August 2nd. So Sean's going to be performing that right here in the sanctuary, 6:30 in the evening to 7:30. So join us here in the evening with Sean and the self-healing meditation discovery. And so we are our own best healers, and we follow the voice within our bodies. We can shift to alignment and not only heal our bodies, but our minds and our spirits as well. So each time we'll meet, we'll talk about what our wishes are for health and balance in our lives, and we'll also have an easy-to-follow deep healing meditation. So join us, starting the August 2nd at 6:30 to 7:30 in the sanctuary, twice a month, so that'll be this coming Tuesday. So it'll be on Tuesdays, probably every other Tuesday is what I'm thinking it's here. And so please, that's pretty cool. Thank you, Sean, for that one. Next Sunday is our first Sunday of the month, and we have our healing service with sound bowls, crystal bowls, and individual healing modalities. The Reiki masters in the sanctuary, and so any modality is accepted as we share the healing light of God that comes through us. And so this service is a second service, starts at noon next Sunday, first Sunday of the month. We do the regular healing service with the sound bowls, which makes it a really neat, energetic feel in the sanctuary, and so please join us for that next Sunday. So let's see, Kealoha, our resident Kahu, he's going to present a tea leaf making workshop, tea leaf leis, and so how to braid the tea leaves and make leis out of them. This is something that's really amazing, and Hawaiian traditions of braiding the tea leaves. They're used for spiritual adornments and many different uses, but it's the hilo braid that they made the ropes with, and so really amazing how useful these things can be. And when you wear a lei, you're honoring the altar of your spirit. So it's proper protocol to gift a lei. And so as you make your leis, find somebody that would be honored and cherished by that gift. And so when you hand make a lei, it's a lot more than just purchasing one. So join us for that. That's coming up August 14th, 12 noon, because Kealoha will provide all the supplies. We need to know how many people will be attending, and so there'll be enough tea leaves for everybody. And so if you please able to attend, add your name to the sign-up sheet. That is, do I have that one here? Yep, right here. So I have the sign-up sheet for the tea leaf workshop. Now sign-up sheet's going around. Sign your names. We'll know what's going on, and we'll have a gathering here coming up August 14th at 12 noon. So that's not too far away. That would be Sunday at noon after service, yeah. And so we have a fundraiser committee, and we're looking for more volunteers for fundraiser committees. We've got a lot of ideas at the board. We really need the help of the congregation to do the little things as well as some of the big things. So please don't hesitate to find out what's going on. And so this fundraising committee presents a night under the stars. Yes, we're doing some stargazing. We've got some amateur astronomers, myself, as well as some other friends, gathering up on the side of Mauna Kea, accessible areas with a porta potty. It's kind of fun. We're going to spend a couple hours up there under the stars and with different telescopes and my binoculars, and we're just going to have a great time. This is a fundraiser. We're asking for $35 love offering as we enjoy the stars on August 27th. And that's with Uncle Jim, Stephanie and John, and anyone else interested to meet at the Kealoha weight check station is where we're going to bring it, and we'll give you maps for their information coming, but you can drive your own car or carpool up. We're going to provide hot chocolate, warm people up, and maybe some snacks. We'll see what happens, but this is really kind of fun as we all live in the most beautiful skies, and the Milky Way was out last night and all the different constellations, and I got some pictures on my phone. If you hit me up later after service, I can show you what happened. It's pretty amazing stuff. And so join us for that. That's August 27th. The golf outing, I'm sorry. Yes, there's a sign-up sheet for that. Keep my ducks in a row. It takes a village. Yes. And I have the best helpers here. This is great. And so the next fundraising committee has come up with a golf outing. The date for the golf outing has been set for October 8th. Now, the golf outing, we need volunteers for this fundraising event. So we need people to come in and maybe help us organize it. We need gifts from local businesses. So if you know somebody that can help share for gifts for the fundraiser for the golf outing. I know my company, Kailani Tours, is donating 2 seats. That's a $500 gift. So we're already working towards that way for a really nice, neat golf outing. If we can get a lot of people involved with this, the church can actually come back into the black. And it would be kind of fun to move forward again, as COVID's been difficult. So your thoughts and prayers are always welcome. So sign up for the golf outing. This one. Yes, the golf outing. And also, please don't hesitate to call the church if you want to help with this stuff. It's 808-322-0885, or leave us a Gmail. That's probably easier to get through, would be the unityofkona@gmail.com. And so please participate. We need volunteers for all aspects of the church as we move forward. We're back open for business. We got lots of plans, so please come in and help. Even making coffee helps, it's little things. And so just a couple more announcements. That one, this one. Volunteer for the Strategic Planning Committee. Okay, we got other things. We now have to think about where our lease is expiring on April 30th, 2023. So we need people to kind of put together looking for new spaces, leases, and possible preparations for moving. So the sign-up sheet for that one is in the back of the sanctuary. So if you have any knowledge of the area, want to help out and searching out places and finding us a new sanctuary is something maybe we can afford a little better, or something even a little nicer. Let's hold the greatest good for God in our lives. Absolutely. So that sign-up sheet's in the back. And do please consider becoming a supporting member here, contributor, your time, talents, and treasures. This spiritual community is growing, and we welcome team members for singing, playing music, doing platform, and making coffee. All these little things make a big difference. Greeters, audio-visual team, as well as helping in all many ways. Sign-up sheets are plenty of them back there, so please help us out. We appreciate it. Joining us online, if you're interested in reading the Daily Word. The Daily Word we do via Zoom when we have speakers here in person. So today we have via Zoom Daily Word Reader, and I'm really honored to see that. And my sister's coming to join us for church today. And so we really appreciate that in advance for your willingness to serve. And I believe that's all my announcements. And my sister Jeannie is going to do the Daily Word. Coming live from, where's she at now, Charleston or Greenville? She keeps moving around, this girl. Yeah. Here she comes. Aloha, Jeannie.
Aloha. Today's affirmation is let go and let God. I bless myself when I let go and let God. I find myself ruminating over a concern awaiting decision. I release its grip on my attention by letting go and letting God. When I let go, I am placing my trust in divine mind, the source of infinite potential. I believe there are solutions and remedies of which my limited human mind cannot conceive. When I let God, I am trusting the grace of God. God's will blesses my life in the most wondrous and even surprising ways. Letting go and letting God is how I live my faith. I surrender to spiritual truth, presence, and the power of God. I believe the best outcome is going to be so much better than anything I can imagine. I affirm, let's go and let God, and relaxed into knowing that I am deeply loved and abundantly blessed. I do not let your hearts be troubled. Believe in God, believe also in me. John 14:1. And again, it's let go and let God.
Thank you, Jeannie.
Thank you.
Aloha. Oh, it's so good to see her She spent a whole year with me here during COVID, so now all her COVID memories are Hawaii. And it was like she was living in Florida, and it was like I had to get her out. So let's reconnect, sister. It worked out really cool. And so now is the time to visualize the sanctuary. So please get comfortable where you're at as we get ready to visualize the sanctuary, as well as the sanctuary of your soul. Take this moment and see the sanctuary as a beautiful heart. And as you feel the loving energy of those around you, see it flowing through and in and around every person, every being on this world and on this earth. And if you know of anyone in your life or in this world in need of prayer, take a moment now and see them in the center of this place, this most beautiful, beautiful heart. As we get together to say the prayer for protection. For the light of God surrounds us. I am the light of God. The love of God enfolds us. I am the love of God. The power of God protects us. I am the power of God. And the presence of God watches over us. I am the presence of God. Wherever I am, God is, and all is well. And so it is. Thank you, God. Mahalo keakua. And now is the time in the service where I introduce our resident Kahu, Kealoha Sugiyama, Native Hawaiian and Christian and child of God, authentic blends of Irish, Scottish, English, and Japanese. Kealoha is Kahu, and he's born and raised here in Mahukona, North Kohala, on the island of Hawaii. Life was simple, and he and his ohana respected everything from the mountain to the sea. Being one with nature made Kahu Kealoha want to be more of service to man and to God. As a minister of God, it's Kahu Kealoha's pleasure to bring love, joy, and to the many weddings and brides and grooms and their wedding days and do ceremonies, as well as on very short notice. So it's an amazing energy of Kealoha, and we really appreciate him. He also performs this stuff, land blessings, commercial property blessings, and protocols for in the Hawaiian culture. So please welcome Kealoha Sugiyama.
Let's prepare for meditation first. Let's be still and be grateful that where we live, there are rainbows. And so let us visualize the rainbow in front of us as we slide down the rainbow's arch. First to the color red. The color red, let us visualize understanding. For it is through understanding that we can embrace everyone and everything. Moving down to the color orange, let us seek that we may find God's truth in our lives. Moving down to the color yellow, let us listen to that still small voice. Moving down to the color green, let us greet each day with great expectation for our highest good. Moving down to the color blue, let us take actions for our thoughts, our words, and our actions. That it be in alignment with God's will. And then we move down to the color purple, knowing that we are one with God. We are created in the likeness and image of God the good, omnipotent. How wonderful it is to be in God's presence and let us take His light and His love into the physical world, that wherever we are, God is and all is well. So from the color purple, let us move to the color blue, the color green, the color yellow, orange, and red. And open your eyes, knowing that we are one with God. We are one with God. And so it is. And so it is. Kohala nui, kohala iki, kohala nalani pili ke kanaka. Kohala nui, kohala mahu kona hanau paea. Kohala nui, kohala koko iki hanau paea. Kohala nui, kohala pu'u e paku mo okini. Kohala nui, kohala ho ea au puni mo'i. Kohala nui, kohala hawi hulia upolu. Kohala nui, kohala hono maka'u a ole pilikia. Kohala nui, kohala kapa au kahi nei ole. Kohala nui, kohala hala uli ke mau polu. Kohala nui, kohala halava hale o ka ili. Kohala nui, kohala makapala kai ke o kea. Kohala nui, kohala pololu pi'i avini. This chant talks about the place names of North Kohala. Our theme this month is understanding. And the Hawaiian way of understanding are three things. One, be quiet. See the world around you and be quiet. The second thing in understanding is keep your mouth shut. Don't ask questions. Don't speak. For in the quietness will all the answers come to you. And the third thing in understanding is to go within to your na'au, your gut feeling, and know that every answer, every question that you need answered will come from within. The Hawaiians believe that if you ask a lot of questions, it means you're not paying attention. And God being everywhere and in everything is constantly speaking to us. God is constantly guiding us in the right direction. But if we're so busy talking, asking, we can't hear that still small voice. And therefore, we need to go one another and ask for your opinion of the answer. Now, why would we go to another human who has the same limitations as yourself when you can go to the source and get the unlimited supply of everything you desire to know? So this is the Hawaiian way. When they go up into the mountains, it is to be quiet. Quiet in the mind, quiet in the heart, and in the soul. And in that quietness, can they hear life answers through the wind blowing through the trees, the leaves rustling, the birds singing, and through the smell, the sweet fragrance. So in the silence is where all the answers are. And this is why meditation is so important. It is through meditation that we connect with the source. And by connecting with the source, we have the true understanding of what is. Now, I was born and raised in North Kohala. And in order to appreciate Kohala with all of its name places, you need to understand where and how it came to be. So the chant that we just did name all these place names. But for you to understand and appreciate the next time you visit Kohala, I would like to tell you the story. Now, when Kamehameha's mother was hapai, pregnant, carrying with child, she was craving for the eye of a shark. And so the kahunas, observing that, told the king, Alapa Inui, Kekuhia Pu'iwa is carrying a child. She's craving for the eye of a shark, which means that that child that she's carrying is going to be the slayer of kings. Hearing that, Alapa Inui got concerned and says, when is that child going to be born? And so the kahuna says, when a bright star shines in the heavens with a long red tail, this child will be born. And so the mother frequented Maui to see her uncle, Kahikili. And so when the star with the long red tail appeared in the heavens, she was coming home to give birth. Now, Alapa'i Nui and his warriors went down to the shoreline, to Umivai Bay, where she normally comes in with her canoe, waiting for her so that when the baby is born, they could kill this child. And the threat of this slayer of kings would be done with. So they're waiting for her. But what happens is a storm appears. Thunder, lightning, strong winds is happening all around that area. And because the weather was so bad, the warriors were taking cover instead of paying attention for the arrival of that canoe. And so Kekuhi Apu'iwa also had her kahunas advise her that her child would be in jeopardy because this would be a great king. So she made preparations as well. And so she comes in and she sees Alapa Inui and his warriors waiting for her at Umivai Bay. Now, this storm could also be the smoke screen or the curtain that blocked their view of her arrival. And so she goes down to the next bay called Kapakai Bay. She lands, she gives birth, and Naiole, the chief, is waiting. She wraps the child and gives it to Naiole. This star became known as the Koko Iki star. Koko Iki means little blood. And today, When scientists look back over that period, they did find that Halley's Comet appeared, and that was the long red tail. So Naiole takes this newborn child and he starts running for safety, knowing that Alapa Inui is there to kill this child. So after she gives birth, she goes to the birthing house and the afterbirth comes out. That is the koko iki, the little blood. And so that ahupua'a, that land division, is named Koko Iki. I live on Koko Iki Road in the ahupua'a of Koko Iki. So Naiole is running, and the king and his warriors approach the canoe only to find that Naiole had left with baby. So they're pursuing Naiole and this child. This child, upon birth, was named Paia. Paia is a crab. Now, on the Kohala Coast, there is no sandy beaches. It's mostly cliffed, big boulders, and the strong current from the Alanuhi Haha Channel. And so this crab that sits upon the rock, and this strong current comes to shore and bangs against the rocks and splashes up, when it recedes, this crab is still standing. And no matter how many waves pound this rock, when it recedes, this crab is standing firm. So the kauna, or the hidden meaning of this crab name, Paia, is that this child, named Paia, will be like this crab. That when he grows up and becomes the king and is met with all these foreign challenges, no matter what comes after him, he will stand firm on the rock and withstand every trial and tribulation. So the kahunas are waiting for the arrival of Naiole with Paia. They give him the child a blessing, and that area became known as Ho'ea. Ho'ea means the arrival of this child that is to be the King of Kings of Hawaii, but more so, within this child, Paia, is the kingdom of Hawaii. So the kingdom of Hawaii is now present through this child. So after the blessing, Naiole continues to run for safety, being pursued by Alapa Inui and his warriors. Now, here he is with this child, and this child is hungry. Not being able to assist his child with breast milk, he has to look in that vicinity for something that is befitting for this special child. And no matter how much he searched in that area, he couldn't find any. So that place became known as Havi. Ha, the breath of life. which he couldn't find anything to sustain life. V is the lack of. So that area that you know as Havi today is because they couldn't find any food befitting of this child. Naioli continues, and the warriors catches up with him and surrounds him, and Naioli is looking around and notice that he is surrounded by the warriors. And so he comes from great fear that if this child cries, it will draw attention to where they are, and both of them would be killed. But the child lay silent, and Naioli was able to continue his journey. So that area became known as Honomaka'u. Maka'u means to come from great fear. That area of Honomaka'u is where the Kohala and elementary school is. So can you imagine when I was going to Kohala Elementary and Intermediate, the teachers put a lot of fear in their children. So he continues on. And because of the heavy rain and the storm that happened, the mountains are saturated with water. And it starts flowing down the streams, heading for shore. And it comes to this area that has lots of streams flowing. So Naioli with child wrapped in this kappa cloth is crossing stream after stream after stream that is gushing with strong current. And he loses his balance and he drops the child into the water and lifted it up. And this area became known as Kapa'au. Kapa'au is where the statue of King Kamehameha is today. Kapa is the cloth that this child was wrapped in. Au means to go and bathe or to swim. So he continues on, and the king, Alapa'inui, is very angry that Naioli and child has not been found and killed. So he tells his warriors, if you don't find Naioli and child, there will be bloodshed. So they're searching and searching with a fine tooth comb, looking for Naioli and child. And they can't find it. So some bloodshed happened there. And that area became known as Hala-ula. Hala means you did something wrong. And the wrong that you did was you didn't fulfill the command of catching Naioli and Paia. Ula is red in reference to the blood that flowed. So where the intermediate school is the town of Hala-ula. So Naioli is still going on, and now the king is still angry and says, nobody sleeps until the child is found. So they're going days and weeks and months looking for Naiole and Paea. And after so long without sleeping, their eyes became what the Hawaiian described as rotten corm, or the root of the taro. When it sits in warm water, it starts to rot. And that's what their eyes look like. And so that place became known as Makapala. Maka means eyes, pala, rotten. So that area where the old Makapala elementary school was is that area called Makapala. So Naiole now comes to Pololu Lookout. And he goes down Pololu Valley, up the ridge, over the ridge, down to the next valley, up the ridge, over the next valley, up the ridge, and he comes to Avini. And he goes up to Avini. His sister is waiting there for him. She had given birth and lost her child. So she was full of breast milk. So she was able to feed this child correctly, and they raised Paea until he was 5 years old. Now here is this child all alone, way up Avini Ridge. And Alapa'i Nui and his men, when they came to Pololu Valley, there was so many areas that Naiole could go. He could go to the right. He could continue all the way to Waipio. There were too many variables. And so he decided not to continue this pursuit. Naiole, being on the fourth ridge, he could see everything. And if Alapa'i Nui and his warriors proceeded, he had a lot of time to go elsewhere. And so they raised Paea on Avini. Now, this child, all alone, is lonesome. There's only two people. There's no children to play with and have kid stuff going on besides the two adults. So he's looking down the valley and wondering, what's out there? Why am I stuck way up here in the Kuahivis? And when Naiole felt it was safe, he brought Paea down to Halava, where his parents lived. And there he grew up as a young man, became a strong, healthy, tall warrior. Everything that he did, he excelled in everything. Word gets to Alapa'i Nui that there is this young man who is so powerful in everything. So he summons this young man. So Naiole accompanies Paea to the court of Alapa'i Nui. And when Alapa'i Nui meets Paea, who he threatened to kill as a child, but now being older, he didn't feel threatened at all, welcomed Paea into his fold. And the first thing he did was give Paea the name Kamehameha. Kamehameha means the lonely one. So Alapa-Inui knew that this child, being raised all alone up in the ridge somewhere, must have been lonely for family, for community, for interaction, for participation, and realizing that gives him the name Kamehameha, the lonely one. So now you can understand why Kohala is so special. That all of our towns, as you go to Pololu Lookout, which is at the end of the road, every town tells the story of the journey of Paea and Naiole. And in understanding this, you can look at Haviah and says, oh, this is where he couldn't find the food for this child. If you see the school, you can say, this is where he came from great fear. And when you come towards the statues area, there are a lot of streams. You don't see it because of the modern highway that is built over it, and the streams are diverted. But when you understand the stories of Kohala, is why we stand so proud. Kohala means ko, sugarcane, the sweetness, ha, the breath of life, la, the sun. Kohala is the sweet breath of the sun, which translates into agricultural land, rich in agricultural land, that everything is fruitful and can grow in that Kohala district. Now that you understand our story, come visit us. Today, July 31st, is La Ho'iho'i'ea, the reinstatement of the Hawaii Kingdom. And so we're celebrating in Kohala this new event that was signed into law by the governor last week. So come up and visit at the statue. It's 5 o'clock this afternoon. Okay? Kanikapu. So I want to close with singing the beauty of Kohala. Nani vale o Kohala, kapua o kaina, kaina kuhome, kuhome I kamakani, kamakani apa, kamakani I o I anei, I nei kuhome, nani vale no Kohala. Nani vale o Kohala. Beautiful is Kohala. Kapua o Ka'aina and its people of this land. Ka'aina ku'uhome. This land is my home. Ku'uhome I kamakani. My home in the wind. Kamakani a pa'a. The wind that we call the A'apa'a. Kamakani i'o'i'ane, this wind that blows from all directions. Ine ku'uhome, here is my home. Nanivale, no kohala. Beautiful indeed is kohala. Amama uanoa, amama uanoa, amama uanoa. And the words have been spoken and released. Mahalo.
Mahalo nui loa. Thank you, Kealoha. Renee, you guys are amazing. We feel truly blessed and honored to have you here sharing the aspects of the culture that are just a little deeper. And like you say, the kauna, the meaning of the story, how important it is to learn from our elders so we don't have to repeat the mistakes. And as we get ready to take our offerings, we'll do an offertory prayer. And so now please hold your gifts in honor and hold them with you in your hands as we'll do this together. Divine love, through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. I am abundantly prosperous in every way. Our ushers will be passing around the plates. And if you're joining us online, there's many ways you can donate for their service. There's QR codes and information. It's going to be posted here as we get into this. And we have, let's see, a little more music. Do we have some music going playing? No? Do we have some music for the offering, Tori? Well, that's okay. They're going to come and do another little thing for us as the ushers pass the plates around. And joining us online, please leave your donation. Thank you, guys. Awesome. Thank you. We ad-lib this, and this is going to work out beautifully. Sometimes the universe just provides. There are rainbows.
There are rainbows
with life in the laughter of morning and starry nights. Where I live, there are rainbows.
There are rainbows
And flowers full of color, and birds filled with song. I can smile when it's raining and touch the warmth of the sun. I hear children laughing in this place that I love. Where I live, there are rainbows and flowers full of color, and birds filled with sun. I can smile when it's raining and touch the warmth of the sun. I hear children laughing in this place that I love. In this place that I love.
Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. It just sings to my heart. This is so much like home. There's no way. This is it. I love this place. And I know it's time to bless these gifts and offerings. So thank you, ushers, for collecting it. And please, we honor and appreciate everybody joining us online. For we bless this as we know that through Spirit, we do know that as we give, so shall we receive. So we now dedicate, consecrate these gifts to do your will, your work in this ministry, in our lives, and in our community. And so it is. Mahalo keakua. Amen. And as we get ready to do our closing songs, I'll please ask you to stand and make a circle right behind the cameras. If you're in the sanctuary, joining us online, you're more than welcome to stand and sing and dance with us also. As we'll have a couple singers on board for the closing songs, Aloha Oi, and Let There Be Peace on Earth first. And in closing, join us next week, Reverend Sophia. Her topic will be the power of will, and will would be our affirmations for next month. God's will is for us good. And so as we surrender to your will to God, then you experience good in every area of your lives. Music next week, Joe Condi, so please join us for the virtual social hour after service. All right.
Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me. Let there be peace on earth, a peace that was meant to be, with God as creator. Family all are we. Let us walk with each other in perfect harmony. Perfect harmony. Let peace begin with me. Let this be the moment now. With every breath I take, let this be my joyous vow, to take each moment and live each moment in peace eternally. Let there be peace on earth, and let it begin with me.
And as we hold the peace of an understanding and knowing just a little bit more of the kauna, the meaning of the stories, let us all hold this until we come again with finishing up Aloha Oi.
Aloha oi, aloha oi, e ke ona no I kalipo. One fond embrace, ahoy, ao, until we meet again.
Ahui ho, aloha. Until we meet again. Thank you, everybody. Thank you online. We have food and snacks upstairs, so join us in the sanctuary for some snacks and a few moments of fellowship. Are we good? Oh, Donnie, a little more music. Cool.
Oh, you know what? Maybe we should do this one. He mana o I ka vekyu o ko ke I ka nani o ka aina o ka noe o ai ai o ka lala he aina la I ka ua li o ai pea kua le aloha nevermore to say goodbye. Let's sing it again. O pai he mana o I ka vekyu o ko ke I ka nani o ka aina o ka noe o ai ai o ka lala he aina la I ka hua li o ai mea kule aloha nevermore to say goodbye nevermore to say goodbye.